Yegan, welcome to Careers and Culture. Being an artist in KZN, where did it all start?
Thank you for having me on the show. It all started when I was a kid. I must have been in class 1 or yeah. My teacher in my class asked us to draw a bird, and the children in my class were drawing like a line and 2 dots, and I drew a real bird. And the teacher saw that drawing, was very impressed, and I realized I had some sort of talent, maybe beyond my years at that time. And I continued to draw, and it developed into a passion, and it grew, and I grew from one level to the next.
What defines your art from any other KZN artist?
Well, in terms of making myself separate from other artists, I would say that I'm unique. My talent or my technique that I use in terms of painting, I try to vary myself, so I don't restrict myself to a particular style or particular method, we would call it, but I'm always evolving and transforming, so I'm not always the same. My art, it varies. I paint from African art to all types of art, so therefore I'm not painting one type of style, neither am I painting one type of method. I'm always painting landscapes, sceneries, African art, various kinds. So I'm not restricted, and neither am I limited. I'm always open to new opportunities, new styles of painting, and this is the way that you improve yourself. And by improving yourself, you get better as time goes by.
Yegan, the painting that I see behind me, what inspired you to paint this particular piece?
This particular painting, it represents the current situation of South Africa that we're facing at this moment in time. In terms of water shortages, in terms of the drought, in terms of the heat, it kind of inspired me to produce a painting representing the current status that we are facing in this country. So a lot of emphasis and feeling has been placed into it to show, this is what we are going through, this are the challenges that we are faced with. And if you look at it, it's basically like a lady collecting water, but tells you, we're not in the best position, but we are trying to survive. So this is what inspired me to paint a particular thing.
I see different other paintings that you have placed here. Can you take us through some of the pieces?
In terms of this particular painting, these rocks are actually in England, and I was watching a documentary and I saw stuff like this, and it inspired me because it's something unique. You don't see artists painting rocks. You see artists painting various other things, but you don't find them painting rocks. And I kind of was inspired because I liked the structure and the landscape of it. So therefore, I was kind of taken back and inspired and motivated to paint something. I'm a person that likes to go to the beach, to be honest with you. So therefore, I kind of painted this. It was summertime at that moment in time, which was just it was currently in summer. So therefore, I painted this. In terms of this painting to my left, this is actually a building which I painted, which actually really exists. I adjusted it, I've improvised on it, and I've tried to make it unique in my own style, in my own technique of painting. And
that comes across as a historic type of building.
Yes, it is. Actually, it's a building in Vellum that exists. And one of my friends actually challenged me or asked me, should I try something, should I not? So I decided to give it a go. And I went, I looked at the landscape, I looked at it, and I decided to paint it. And obviously, I've made some changes because whenever I paint something, I make adjustments to make it unique. Because I consider myself to be a unique individual. Therefore, everything of myself that I do in terms of my art, I always improvise to make it catch people's eyes more than anything else.
Under what category would your paintings fall under?
Well, in terms of category, I would call myself a still artist, but at the same time an artist who does my own interpretation. You get various categories ranging from realism to abstract to interpretation. I prefer interpretation on the basis that I'm able to put more feeling into it. I'm able to improvise and make adjustments, and also to get people's attention. In terms of realism, there's too much of realism in this world, and there's too much of competition. So I'd rather be a person and be myself and paint something based on my own interpretation, from my own feelings, and get the message across than just paint something that's just real, that exists, but there's no feeling into it. So I would prefer myself falling under interpretation art.
So basically, your passion and whatever you love, that's how you go about your painting.
Yes, yes. Basically, whatever I see inspires me and motivates me to perform, complete a particular painting. For example, if I'm in a particular area and if I see something and if I like it, I'll probably take a photograph of it and paint it. Or if I see a picture, obviously we as artists we love nature. So if we are at any particular moment in time, we'll take photographs of something to that effect, so that we can paint it, because we appreciate nature, we appreciate the qualities of life, and we appreciate a lot of things that are beautiful. Obviously, in the same token, everything is unique in its own special way, and you appreciate the uniqueness of everything as well.
Yegan, what was the highlight of your career?
The highlights of my career, it's a good question. To be honest with you, there are many highlights. Let me take you back to the beginning. Obviously, the first highlight was when I had my first art exhibition on my own, followed by my second art exhibition on my own. I got accepted by a gallery in KZN, and then selling my first painting. That was a highlight in its own right, because it's a special feeling that you don't feel every day, selling your first painting. And then obviously the career took off from there. I was able to send my paintings abroad. I've sent one of my paintings to Belgium. I've sent 3 to the UK. So that's highlights on its own right. And then just recently, last year, I was accepted into a gallery in Johannesburg, and that was another highlight on its own right, because I was able to go by myself into this gallery and promote my art. So those are the major highlights and the high points of my career thus far.
You've mentioned that your pieces have been purchased abroad. Can you take us through that?
Yes. Initially, I got into contact with one person. I was actually introduced to this person from the UK, and they asked to see my work. So I sent them some of my work, and they were quite impressed. But they actually asked me to paint something for them. So I painted it for them, and they were impressed as well. At the same token, they also liked African art, so I was able to send 3 paintings to them. One which was initially wanted for themselves, that they sent me a picture of. The other 2 was African art which they liked. So those are the 3 paintings I actually sent to them, and that was it.
So South African art pieces are unique to international buyers, and that's where they see or take a liking to, and that's what they require.
Yes, of course. We as South African artists, we are very different from the rest of the world. If you take a look at artists coming from, say, Italy, for example, they are very into Italian cultures and their history in terms of their art. And we as South Africans, we are really diverse in terms of our culture and backgrounds. So therefore, we should be painting based on our own culture and our own land that we live in. And that's what sets us apart from other artists in other countries as well. So therefore, as a result, there is a demand for African art, and I see that this market will eventually grow and boom, and there probably will even be a bigger demand in Europe in terms of African artists as well in time to come.
What do you think about art galleries and showcasing pieces in South Africa, and how would you try to change that in terms of showcasing pieces where people could come to art galleries and they could see them?
In terms of art galleries and how I see them, the reality is that to get people to come to a gallery, it's not an easy thing, because not everyone's into art. That's something we've got to accept. So to motivate people to come to a gallery, they've got to be inspired to come to see the things. Obviously, for a person to come to a gallery, they've got to gain something in return. So it's either they like art or they don't. Some people will come just to look, and some people come with the intention to buy. Everyone is different. Some people start purchase collections, and some people just like to buy one piece. Some people just like to. So people will come and people will go, but it's on the basis of what they're after. In terms of getting people to a gallery, as I said, it's either they want to come or don't want to come. But in terms of my galleries, when I have my own exhibitions, I actually inspire people to come to my galleries. It's a matter of your approach, of how to get people to come across. Obviously, as artists, not every one of them has the time or the ability to speak to people, to get them to come to galleries. I've actually made that time to go personally, individually, and speak to people about art and explain.
It's a personal sacrifice.
Yes, it is a sacrifice, but it's worth it at the end of the day. because no pain, no gain, you know. So therefore, I look at it from this point of view. The more you put in, the more you get out.
What motivates you on a daily basis?
What motivates me? The initial stages of art, how as a child I was always painting and I was always drawing. But there came a stage in my life when things were not looking that great, to be honest with you. I wanted a way out of life and I realized I had a talent and I had abilities and I needed to make use of them. So therefore I started to paint. And then whilst painting, then I asked myself this question. At the same token, I always wanted to educate myself even further because I believe in education is an important thing and we need to value it. So as time went by, I decided to, if I can, use my talent, and if I could sell my art, that income that comes from my art, I can educate myself. And by educating myself through my art, I am able to inspire and motivate people to go through things in life that if I could get through it, then they can get through it themselves.
Well, that's a wonderful way of thinking about it. Yegan, it must be a huge struggle for you as a KZN artist. Do you see any hope for up and coming artists?
Yes, there's always hope. You have to have some hope if you want to go somewhere in this industry. Because initially, when I started as an artist, I was told that I was not good enough, or the talent is there, but it's more raw talent. But I worked at it and I persevered day and night, worked very hard to get to where I am today. So if you want to make it as an artist, you must have perseverance. You must be determined to go the extra mile and work hard. You're gonna get your negative critics, you're gonna get your good critics and your bad critics. But take it in your stride. Something's good for you, take it in. If something's not, you don't have to accept it. But keep working at it and keep working day and night. Don't give up. Because the time will come when someone will appreciate your art and someone who knows, a gallery might step in and want to purchase your art, or you might just break the mold and go to other places with your art. But the whole idea is that you must never give up, because there's always hope, and as long as you have hope, you'll always keep aspiring to keep driving on forward.
What are your goals for 2016 and how do you see yourself 10 years from now?
It's a good question, but to be honest with you, I don't actually set myself goals per year or 10 years from now. As I said, I take it in my stride. I set myself certain targets and I work towards them. I can't say where I see myself in 5 or even 10 years because nobody knows what the future has in store, but I work towards the future. So it's a building process. I would love to obviously have my own so-called gallery where I can exhibit my art on a more regular basis. I invite people to come over, but obviously that's still work in progress. At the same token, I have my own studio, but yes, again, that's still work in progress. But like I said, I take one step at a time. And at this moment in time, I'm just concentrating on just painting or even drawing for that matter. And obviously, getting a wider range of audience, be it in South Africa or abroad. But obviously, these things take time. It doesn't happen overnight. But as I said, you keep working towards it. I do have targets, and obviously there are times where you don't reach those targets at the time that you want to, but it doesn't mean that you must just give up. You keep persevering.
It sort of sets you back, but you know that you have the next day to look forward to, and that's
yes,
how you.
Because you take it day by day. In life altogether, you take it day by day because you just never know what can happen. But as I said, you keep persevering, keep having the heart of determination, and never say die attitude. One day, eventually, this hard work will eventually pay off, but you have to dig in deep, and you have to hold on no matter what people say. When I initially first started with my first art exhibition, the people told me that you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it in the industry. I had a lot of negative reviews on people, but I know I pushed on and I pushed on and I pushed on, and now 11 years later, things have really improved to a certain extent for me, and I believe it's going to improve even more, but it requires some patience and still determination and courage. But as I said, your heart will keep you going forward. So don't look back. Draw strength from the negative reviews and say, fine, this is what you've said. You've had your say, but now my time will come where I will prove you wrong, and I'll keep working towards
it. If you had to have some inspirational words for our viewers out there, what would you say to them?
In terms of inspiration, we can draw inspiration from anything and anyone. The reality is that some people's parents may inspire them, some people's friends may inspire them, some people by words can get inspired. But I would advise them in terms of inspiration is that, just hold on no matter what happens, just keep persevering, be determined, never give up, because life was never meant to be easy. It has a lot of challenges, a lot of struggles, and as an artist I've had a lot of challenges, a lot of struggles, but I kept on going on. There are times you want to throw in the towel. Sometimes you feel, am I good enough or am I not good enough? You tend to ask yourself a lot of questions, but as long as you always have hope for the future, as you keep pressing on towards a particular goal and ambition, it's a driving force to keep going forward. So just hold on. Things will turn around the corner, but you must persevere and you must be positive.
Positive attitude, definitely.
Positive attitude, yes. Definitely.
Well, thank you so much for
No
having
problem.
us in your home and taking us through this beautiful pieces. And we wish you all the best in your future and prosper and years to come. And I'll be visiting your gallery